Hello there guys, it's Steven here back with another video. How are you all doing today? Today I'm going to talk about some transfer news because there have been loads of developments on the Jorginho and Mahrez front, and also a little bit of kind of paper tabloid talk. But before I go too far, I wanted to say very quickly, if you didn't see yesterday's little bit of news, I'm giving away this wonderful Manchester City Champions limited edition shirt. It's absolutely gorgeous. All you have to do to enter into this raffle for charity, for the Booth Centre Homeless Charity, is click the link in the description below and you can be involved in a draw for just £2 minimum inventory, and it goes to a great cause. So click the link, get involved in this raffle because it's my little kind of shirt I'm giving away here, and it's a beautiful little shirt. Also, I wanted to slightly touch on the Raheem Sterling thing again yesterday. After yesterday's video where I discussed it in more detail, and it's here above my head somewhere, more stuff has happened since then. Sky actually last night sensationally put out Raheem Sterling's thing about how he would never touch a gun, and added the word again into it, which is just genuinely mortifying behaviour. You can't add the word again into a statement like that, implying that he's been near guns in the first place. Unsurprisingly, Sky have actually backtracked and apologised, which is a big step in this whole fight against this weird perceived agenda against him. Now, I also want to clarify as well my comments about it being a racial kind of thing. Now, there's a lot of nuance here. To say that it's a racial thing doesn't necessarily imply that people are doing are racist. The way I actually think about it is this: I don't know if they are or not, but I think most likely is the people working for the Sun or the Daily Star who are doing these things. I don't think they necessarily hate Raheem Sterling. I don't think they necessarily even hate black people or anything like that. I think in general they play up to a certain stereotype that the press have been picking on for well over a decade now, for a long time, i.e. the young black gangster wannabe kind of rapper stereotype that in general the Sun's readership don't like. If you think of the Sun's readership, it's probably likely it's going to be 40 to 50 year old white blokes, your average builder kind of guy. I am generalising there, but that is pretty much their demographic, and they probably admit that themselves. Now, generally these people don't tend to like these young rappers. I can't stand all that shit, get it off my radio, that kind of thing. Even though Raheem Sterling isn't a rapper, if you look at people over the years, like Pogba gets a little bit of stick for it, for that flashy young black man who kind of fits that lifestyle imagery thing. He fits that box. He ticks a box. Now, I'm saying personally, I don't know if the Rise are racist, but what I will say is that I think they play on his race, play on his general appearance, and he ticks a box there. And I think they use that as part of their understanding that he'll get negativity around him, and that he'll build clicks and he'll build attention, and he'll get them that much craved coverage that they want from the press and from the fans and so on. I think they know what they're doing, basically. Now, it's structural racism. I mean, if you're presenting a young person like Sterling in a different light to someone else because of his race, even if you're not a racist person, you're actually doing maybe a racist thing. I mean, that depends on your own personal definition, and there are a lot of kind of blurred lines with these kind of things. But what I will say is that they know what they're up to. Now, I don't say they're necessarily doing it for racist reasons, but I definitely think they're playing on race. That's just my personal opinion, and none of us can prove it either way. But I do think they know what they're doing with this. I do think they're playing on a certain stereotype for easy clicks, and I think it's intentional. So even though you may not believe it is, I think it's hard to deny that they're playing on the whole money youth thing. And I think they are. And I think it is because he's black to an extent. They play it up in the same way they did it with Stormzy recently in the press. They've done it with Pogba. They always tend to pick on a flashy young black guy because it makes easy headlines. I don't think the people are racist behind it necessarily. I think they're actually just mindless drones who will do these things just to get clicks, because they don't really have any morality over at the Sun and the Star. I think that's just sadly the way of the modern journalist, modern tabloid journalist at certain places. Anyway, let's go on to the actual transfer talk. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm going to start with Jorginho. It looks likely that he's going to be a Manchester City player. There's been loads and little bits of information. Let me get my laptop and read these. Paul Hurst from The Times saying City hope to wrap up the signing of Jorginho next week when he returns for full international duty with Italy. Obviously, Italy didn't make their World Cup, unfortunately, so there's plenty of time for them to kind of sort that out afterwards. And even Calcio Napoli writer Claudio Russ saying City agreed personal terms of 4.5 million euros a year, and they could strike a deal around 50 million euros or something like that. And that kind of tends to be the message across the board. Even his agent said that we know that an offer from City has reached Napoli. We're waiting for a response, but it doesn't seem like they've rejected it yet. If Napoli find an agreement with City, we'll go from there. And Jose Alvarez, City's favourite journalist, has been basically saying something very similar. It looks likely, basically, that Jorginho is going to be a Manchester City player. And I'm personally very excited by this. I think he's going to be a very good player for Manchester City. I think he fits a lot of boxes that we're trying to tick. An alternative to Fernandinho. And someone who could maybe bring something slightly more, a slightly different style. We're going to struggle to find a Fernandinho clone. But Jorginho is a fantastic player that, one, will offer us a lot more to this squad squad that something that we probably do crave at the moment. Someone who's brilliant receiving the ball in the press, especially receiving the ball when he's facing towards his goal against the high press. I think he'll be a great player. For the money we're going to get for him, I think he'll be potentially a little bit of a bargain. 40 million. For about £40 million these days, that's actually not a bad deal at all for one of the best midfielders in Europe, in my personal opinion. And also, let's go on to Mahrez. Once again, all reports seem to suggest that this is very, very close in a package totaling 75 million quid, 75 million big ones. It sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? It is a lot of money. When you break it down, 60 million up front and 50 million apparently in bonuses and further add-ons depending on success, well, it doesn't sound that bad when you add some context around. You've got to bear in mind that United have just been quoted 50 million apparently for Arnautovic, and Van Dijk set a defender with less pedigree, shall I add, than Mahrez, went for 75 million to Liverpool, and Naby Keita as well is going for like 75 million or whatever to Liverpool. 60 million for a guy who was PFA Player of the Season only a couple of years back, who's had over 10 goals and assists in 2 of the last 3 seasons. He's a goal scorer, a creator, and relatively decent age. In the Premier League with his pedigree, it's not really that mad these days. It is mad, but it's all about context. It's not mad for these days, if that makes sense. For me personally, I'm quite excited by Mahrez. I don't think he's reached his peak by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think there's a single play that Pep couldn't actually improve. Never mind one who's been playing at Leicester City. I think he'll go up a level tactically. He has all the ability in the world, and he offers something a little bit different. I know people will say Bernardo Silva can dribble, and he definitely can, but I would say Mahrez is a lot more of an aggressive dribbler, more likely to run past 2 or 3 people than Bernardo Silva is. And I think he'll bring something a little bit unique when we're trying to break down defences. He loves a inverted kind of cutting in from the wing shot, and I think Pep will maybe look at the other side of his game to him. It's going to be a very interesting sign. It looks likely that this is going to happen for me, and I'm quite excited by it. And another one that we can draw a line under. Pep was asked while on the goal course, "Are you going to sign Isco?" And he shouted back, "No." So that's the end of that one. Done. I think that's pretty clear. The end of the Isco saga. And there's also alleged out, and to me this is just classic paper talk, a Spanish journalist saying that Aguero wants to go back to Atletico Madrid. I'm sure maybe he wouldn't mind playing for them again. Of course, he's, that's where he made his name. I'm sure he's got a lot of affection for that club, and that's also the kind of move that Aguero would make if City didn't want him. But the matter of fact is, City do want him. He's our leading scorer, he's our legend. He's going nowhere, in my humble opinion. We're not about to let Aguero go. All the signs from Aguero were very positive towards the end of the season. He's talked about how good his operation was and how he felt in better shape than ever. And I reckon it's going to be a very big season for him next year. I also think Atletico couldn't actually afford Aguero, if we're being totally honest. And I don't know, it requires too much to happen. I think it's just paper talk personally. And surely, if there was rumours about an Aguero exit, it's going to come from Jose Alvarez. Let's be honest. We all know Alvarez has kind of ties to Aguero's camp. It's not officially put out there, but there's a lot of leaks and stuff, and it implies that he's very close to Aguero. And I think if there was news about Aguero's future, it'd come via him first for obvious reasons there. To me, it's just bullshit, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about all these rumours. Let me know what you think about the Sterling stuff. Let me know if you got involved in the bids for this £2 minimum entry, gorgeous limited edition champion shirt. Look at that, it's a piece of art. And go and have a wonderful evening. Subscribe if you're new, like this video, and I will see you next time.